2 of our level 1 FCBD fundamentals. Because I don't like the word basics, because that just doesn't sound as fun as fundamentals. So last week we went over our Bodywave, our Taxeem, and our hand floreos, matching that. We reviewed our posture. We got in and out of posture and our body angles, arm positions, and then we did a lot of drilling with those movements to keep them in our muscle memory. So we're going to do... Lucius says hello. You're worried about your dogs. Oh my goodness. So today we are going to start again with 2 slow songs. One slow song to kind of stretch a little bit, and then we're going to go into those movements that we covered last week. Then we're going to go over the Choo-Coo pivot bump, which is the same move, just one moves, one stays in place, and the Arabic and the Egyptian, and then we're going to drill those. So I'm going to stop talking and turn on some music. We have a cozy little fireplace here because we're cozy. find that hand floreo thing that I know is on my computer. So I'm just gonna do a whole nother one and then put a link and then give it to you there. So with hand floreos, remember that whole range of motion thing and keeping your arms here and then doing your arm hand floreo and not an arm floreo, bringing it in and out. So you're not doing this, you're keeping it here and keeping them up. When you do arm sweeps, we're only doing like 2 hand floreos, maybe 3 per arm sweep. So if we start here, it's going to go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, because you want it to be pretty. You don't want it to look like you're trying to wave down an airplane. So sometimes it just gets really busy when you just start putting like, there could be a bee. There could be a bee there that you're swatting, but you know, chances are there's not. So 2, maybe 3 hand floreos, and you are golden there. Today we're going to be working on the choo-choo, the pivot bump, which is the same exact move. Choo-choo just pretty much stays in place. It travels forward. When we turn it into the pivot bump, that's when it goes to the right and to the left. Now, this is when you guys, you're all going to see how much I do not know my right from my left. So, if I say this way and that way, just watch what I'm doing. So it's kind of like do as I do, not as I say. Because sometimes I am completely backwards on that. So the first movement, like I said, we're going to do the choo-choo and then the pivot bump. So the choo-choo is done with our body, feet in that default 10 o'clock performance angle here, but your chest is more open to your audience. And remember, don't twist, more or less open that arm up, which opens up your body. So left hand is up in the air, right hand is here at your tabletop in this right front corner. Left foot flat, knee is nice and bent. The right foot is on your ball of your foot. To have it pretty close to your left foot, if you try to do a pivot bump with your foot way out here, it's going to look like this. But if you have it pretty close in to the arch of your foot, you should be able to have a nice controlled hip bump here. So left arm up, right arm in the corner, knee bent, and the ball of your right foot. We're going to bring that right hip and go up, and then take it back down to neutral. Up, neutral, up, neutral, up, neutral, up, neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Making sure there's no level change here. So everything's nice and still, and all the action is happening down here. So default arm position is the position 1, split arm 1. 10 o'clock performance angle, open more to the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you feel like one side is working more than the other side, all you have to do is when you lift up your right hip, this is right, I said that right. When you lift up that right on, you're going to engage that right oblique. This side gets released. When you go to let that hip go back down to neutral, you're going to engage your left oblique, which is going to give you that nice, crisp up and down. So, some people will think, or it looks like, that your left side's not working at all. But if you look at my left side, my hips are here. See how my left side did come down? Some people will say, leave that left hip here, but if you try to leave this left hip here, what's going to happen is this. Alright, so the left hip is automatically going to come down, and both sides are actually working. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like there's so much more emphasis over here because we have that foot on the ball of our foot. So if we switch the balls of our feet, it's just going to look the same, but it's going to look more on this side. So, yeah, it's the same. So you are working both sides here. So you want to try not to go up, down, up, down, up, down. This is Mae West. Come up and see me sometime, right? So that's why I'm not an actor either. All right, so 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chris, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really pop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's as hard as the choo-choo gets. So the choo-choo, I know! This is it, that's all it is. I wish it were harder. Did I freeze? Did you freeze? Alright, so when you are traveling your choo-choo, my internet, okay? Making sure I'm all good? Okay. Bella, you froze. Is it me? Alright, oh, good catch up. So, when you are traveling your choo-choo, the choo-choo travels forward only. So if it's here, and we're in this position here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We gradually take this right arm, kind of point it to the front, and then we travel forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Choo only travels forward when we call it the choo-choo. When it's the pivot bump is when it travels for the right and the left. The choo-choo is technically a 1-count move that we count as 4 because we obviously wouldn't go and 1 into something else. So we count it as 4. All right. So when we move it forward, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move it forward here. So your right arm just comes in just a little bit, and we travel forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then to go backwards, of course, you don't go. Unless you do. If you do, that's fine too. So we'll go into our Arabic to bring it backwards. So we'll go into our pivot bump first. So our pivot bump, when we're here, The pivot bump can turn to the left in arm position 1. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can turn to the left in arm position 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It goes back down to position 1. And it can turn to the right only in arm position 1. So we follow our elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. If you feel like when you're traveling to the right, if you feel like you're doing this, just straighten up and bring that foot in closer. So if you bring your foot in closer, heel, ouch, heel, heel, it should be easier. So if you feel like you're tilting or falling over, you probably are. I do sometimes because I get excited. And then I want a top hat, but whatever. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switch arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switch arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the cue to get into your choo-choo, because we obviously have to get here. I don't like from here just straight down. So use the entire 8 counts and your arm sweep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to make for a better presentation, and it's not going to look less abrupt. So if you're dancing and all of a sudden you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. You kind of start looking like you need an oil can, and you want to make sure that that's not the case, that you actually have fluidity and grace in our arms. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I guess that's what that is. So, the nothing behind the curtain. So, when you are all done with that, to go backwards, we're going to go into our Arabic. Our Arabic is a 2-count movement. It's done on the balls of your feet, and it is nothing more than a simple weight shift. So, it's done in our 10 o'clock default performance angle. The cue starts here. If your arms are above your head and you cue it from there, that's fine. But if you're in a move here, just know you don't have to go in order to go into your Arabic. You can be here and then just simply plunge from shoulder height. The cue is hip width apart, not here. Here, not here. So we're not going plunge it down and open. We're coming down gracefully and then up. Right? So, cue is down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Choo-choo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arabic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Choo-choo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arabic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So since it's an improv, you just follow whatever the leader is doing, and hopefully the leader is very graceful and there's not that. So if it happens, it happens. You just roll with it. We do flock of birds, which means whoever can't see becomes the leader. So when we're turning that choo-choo pivot bump, it's not a specific count. So you do not necessarily have to get around in 4 counts or 8 counts. You can take longer. I wouldn't go quicker than 4 counts because that would be really quick. But I would just, like I said, the flock of birds. So use your peripherals, and whoever can't see becomes the leader, so they control how fast we go. So for your aerobic performance angle at that 10 o'clock, on the balls of your feet here, you're going to shift your weight to your right foot. Your chest is going to go up. When you shift your weight to your back foot, your chest is going to go down. So right foot and left foot. Right foot and left foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's not very booty driven. So you're not doing like the aerobic booty pop. So you're not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's not like a rocky horse. It's more everything's underneath you, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your bottom half is working, but it's not. It's more of a sympathetic motion of everything going to supported, 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 and supported. Just make sure that chest is really in action. So up, undulate down, up, undulate down, up, undulate down, up, undulate down in that performance angle. If you try to do it in a regular angle here, if it falls flat and you start doing this, this is what flipper does. So you want to make sure that you're giving a nice side profile, so this is what your audience sees and not this. Okay, so it's all perspective. All right, so 5, 6, 7, 8. Plunge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Flat foot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Aerobic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put music on now. And we're going to dance those two movements. When you're doing your movements, just remember that choo-choo is flat foot, and then that aerobic is on the ball of your foot. If for some reason you can't go up on the balls of your feet, like sometimes I can't because I've had 2 broken feet, and I do things more flat foot, all I do is bend my knees a little bit more, and then I can still make it look like I'm on the ball of my feet, but I'm actually flat foot because my feet are just sometimes not my friends. So if that happens, it's not a big deal. Just roll with what your body tells you to do. like to teach those two movements together because the arm positions are similar, and I noticed that when people turn their Arabic to the right or the left, sometimes they'll do this and they'll do this. I won't. I'll give you turn signals, which I'll show you. The reason why I don't is because when I put my arm like this, that to me reflects it's a choo-choo, not an Arabic. Because the Arabic's above your head. So what I will do when we turn to the right or the left, I'll give you a turn signal. And all that is my arms are here, and you'll see me split a little bit like this. So if you see me split with that left arm down a little bit, that means we're going to the left. This is neutral. And then if you see me split with the right arm down a little bit, that's going to the right. So that's the turn signals I use. So left and right. Whenever I see someone bring that arm down, I will automatically pop down and go into a choo-choo, and I'm like, oh, never mind, it's not that. So I try to keep things as clear and uncomplicated as possible. So when you're moving to the right or the left, remember flock of birds, it's not a specific count, it's just you get around. If you get around in 16, that's fine, that's really slow. But if you get around in 8 or 10, that's fine. If you get around in 4, that's fine too. I wouldn't get around any more than 4 because then you just start spinning, and that's what that is. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn signal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And neutral. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I were to do my arms the other way, it would look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I do this, see how I kind of lose the aesthetic of that Arabic here? And if I do this, I kind of cover up the Arabic. So it's kind of like, I'm Arabicing, but you really can't see it. So keeping it here and just doing that little turn signal makes it for a clearer motion for everybody able to see. And the audience to be able to appreciate that undulation that you're doing. Because, exactly, yes, you know. They have to appreciate that undulation instead of saying, what is she hiding back there? Not this, right? Okay, so you want to make sure that you are giving your audience 100%. So going forward and backwards, we travel on the 6 and the 12. Okay, I'm all about clock faces. So 10 o'clock is here. That's our performance angle. Noon is straight ahead, and then 6 o'clock is straight behind me. So we carry this performance angle, this 10 o'clock, as we move on the noon. And then we come back, we bring it back to that 10, but we travel on the 6 and the 12, and we're just keeping that performance angle. That goes with the choo-choo, Arabic, and every other movement we go. Travel on the 6 and the 12, but you keep your performance angle and your body in the position that it's supposed to be in. One more drill of that, and then we're going to go into our Egyptian. start to get tired, put them into your back. I know that sounds weird. So if your arms get tired, bring your hand, these are hands. So by the way, just so you know, these are hands now. So put your hands all the way to your ears, your shoulders all the way to your ears, and then roll them into your back, and you'll feel actually all that pressure of your arms going into your back. So the longer you can keep your muscles in your back engaged and your arms in your back, the easier it's going to be for your arms to not get tired. So if they're above your head, here, they're in my back. So you see how far back they are? That's because they're in my back here. Here is me trying to hold my arms up, which is not going to happen. But here is me actually putting them into my back. Whenever I try to hold my arms up for a long period of time with just my arms start burning. And you will also see I'll do this a lot, or I'll literally take a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm resting. So I try to make it part of that fluid motion, but what's happening is, oh my God, my arms hurt so bad. Oh my God, they're back. So you take what you can, no one knows. So we're gonna go into our Egyptian. Our Egyptian travels forward and backwards, and it does so in that 11 o'clock performance angle. So we go from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock here. If for some reason your Egyptian lands up going flat, the world will not stop spinning, you will not fall off, and life will continue. So if all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm flat, don't panic, it's not a big deal. Just next time remember performance angle. I know a lot of people get like, oh, just don't. It's fun. Okay, so, all right, so we're in our box. So what I want you to do, take your right foot, turn it to 1 o'clock on your clock face. So for here, it's 1 o'clock on our clock face. You're going to take those toes, turn them to noon, and then take your right hip and push it to the front at noon, and then relax it back down to neutral, and then place your foot again. So the count is going to be 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. For our left side, we're going to take our foot pointed at 10 o'clock, turn it to noon, and then we're going to take this hip and push it as far forward as you can. You obviously can't take it to noon because we're in this performance angle. So if you take it to 11 o'clock, that's fine. And then you can bring it back down to neutral and then set that foot down. So it's going to go 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. So 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 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 So the reason why you want to stop at noon is you want to make sure that you're not bringing it here and doing this. So if you twist your foot in, what you're going to do is you're going to end up throwing all of this off center, and you're going to end up hurting your knees, and we don't want any of that. So just come here, noon, and then push the hip forward, and then drop it back down, and then come back to your center. There is a wiggle waggle that goes with it. It's not a wiggle waggle. All it is simply a weight shift. So you'll see a lot of people who try to learn this, they'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and there's not that in there. So it's just a weight shift from side to side. That's what makes all this happen. I'm a person with no hips, so you will usually never see me doing an Egyptian without tassels. It's like, what you doing, baby? You don't know. Okay, so, it's, I think I see it. There it is. Yeah, it's not there. So, you build it up. That's what you just do. You build it up. It's like build a hip workshop. You do that. The other thing you don't want to do is smash things. So, if you have a pizza box full of, I don't know, cigarette butts, If you take them and you just mash and come out, take your foot, twist and come out, twist and come out. Stay in your pizza box. Don't worry about anybody else's. So if you're trying to go out here for your pizza box, that's somebody else's. They can take care of their own. Okay, so you just concentrate on what's inside your box. So you're here. 5, 6, just the hips. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, weight shift 2, weight shift 3, weight shift 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, while you're doing this, you want to make sure that there's no level change. So, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 The Egyptian is a 4-count movement. There's lots of different ways you can count it. The way I just counted it, I counted to 4, but I was technically doing 8 steps. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, that's how they want you to count it. But this was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I just did 2 Egyptians. So I did 8 counts. It's not wrong. It's just however you count it. There is no wrong. There is. But for right now, there's no wrong. Like if you're counting to like 9, chances are you're wrong. But if it's 8, you're good. All right, so we're here. So arms. So remember how I said put your shoulders into your ears and then let your arms go up. So if you bring your arms directly up from there, they're sitting in your back. So the Egyptian arms are actually done with your back muscles, not so much your arm muscles. So in your box, pretend you have a string tied to your left elbow. This is right. Tied to your right elbow, and it's going into that right back corner. And then your left elbow, it's going into that left back corner. So your arms are going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I do it sideways, you'll see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you'll see they're not going side to side, side to side. They're actually moving on that diagonal plane. Your hands, don't really worry about what your hands are doing right now. Mine are staying in, facing each other, but we get zills, so your hands are just moving around your zills. So I can't really tell you, keep your hands like this, because once you get your zills on, your hands are going to do whatever your hands do when you have zills on, which we'll find out next week. All right, so we're here. When we step with that right hip forward, that right arm goes back to that right back corner. So 1 and. Now when our left hip goes forward, left arm goes back. 3 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 And choo-choo, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arabic 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. So the cue for your Egyptian is it's more intention. So if you're in your Egyptian, or not your Egyptian, your Arabic, and you go into your Egyptian, here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You go flat foot on 8, and brings your right hip down, and then 1 is what brings your hip up. Okay, so that intention on that is what you look for as a follower. From your choo-choo, The cue is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on 7, 8, you start going 7, 8, and that hip drops 1. Okay? So be looking for that little hip drop, that arm to come up, and that little hip drop down, which brings you back up. So it's more intention, but it's clear. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for your Arabic, we're here. For the Egyptian, you move in that 1 inch to that 11 o'clock, and then you come back out here and open for your choo-choo. Choo-choo is flat foot, Egyptian flat foot, and the Arabic is on the balls of your feet. Questions, comments, or concerns? I'm going to get a drink. Egyptian actually travels backwards too. When you're traveling it, think of still that 12 and that 6 o'clock, but think of touch, step, touch, step. That's all the Egyptian is, moving forward or backwards. So basically it's just that touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. And then when you go backwards, it's touch, step back, touch, step back, touch, step back. The touch is your hip. When you're thinking of moving your Egyptian, it's that touch is your hip, and then the step is your 2. So it's 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So when we choo-choo forward, we can use our Egyptian to go backwards. So 5, 6.
Frozen, baby doll.
Huh?
You froze real quick there.
Oh, which part? Oh.
Okay.
Back.
When you said when you travel, it froze right when you said when you're going to travel.
Okay, so when you are traveling on your Egyptian, you travel on the noon and the 6, same thing, and you travel with the, so the touch is your hip, the 1, and then that 2 is your step. So hip and step, hip and step, hip and step. So when you go backwards, it's hip and step, hip and step, hip and step. So traveling with your choo-choo forward, you can come backwards with your Egyptian. So for here, 5, 6, 7, 8, choo-choo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Touch and step, touch and step, touch and step, touch and step. Forward, touch and step, 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 touch and step. So the touch is your hip, and then your step is the movement. So I've seen where people try to go Egyptian way out here, step, Egyptian way out here, and they'll end up creeping backwards like that. So you want to make sure that you're staying nice and tall, hip, step, hip, step, hip, step. Okay. And then your arms are just doing the same thing as our normal Egyptian there. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Travel forward. Touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. Go backwards. Touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. Forward, hip, step, 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 hip, step. When you go backwards, letting your people know behind you that it's a little bit, that it's coming, it's actually a very dramatic step backwards on that 8. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then hip, step, hip, step. And the reason why that's for fades and like taking your formation backwards and forward, the reason why, if you're kind of mealy and you're not real aggressive about it, what'll happen is you'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then all of a sudden it'll be 1, and you gave no indication, then you're starting to go backwards. And the people behind you are like, wait a minute, what are we doing? Why didn't you tell me? Did you get the memo? I didn't get the memo. So you have to make sure that you're passing out the memos and everybody knows what's going on. So, music, maestro, I am still maestro, just so you know. anytime, again, your lower back starts to hurt, just kind of reset yourself. The easiest way to do that during fast is go into your Choo-Coo. So if you're here, you can see how my back is arching a little bit here. So the best way to reset myself is here, and when I come down, just to go ahead and reset myself back into that nice tucked position. So that way I'm not over exaggerating my lower back. Because I am a lower back exaggerator. That's my curse. And that's just what it is. So I adjust myself a lot when I dance. It looks like that too. And that's just what it is. Alright, so we're going to do another fast song and a slow song. This song is literally playing on its own. So this is what we're dancing to. backs a little bit. Up here. Arch. Make sure you give it some loving. Take a nice Epsom salt bath. Alright, so that was my alarm that just told me that we were done. So apparently my alarm is like, we're done. Alright, so we reviewed the Taxeem and Bodywave and the hand floreo, arm sweeps, posture and angle. Then we went into our Arabic, our Choo-Coo and pivot bump, and also our Egyptian. Remember, those are specific angles, but if you fall out of those angles, it's okay. Just fix yourself back into them and correct yourself. So you can self-correct easily and no one will ever know that's happening. Next week, we are going to be finishing up with our most basic fundamental movements. So we're going to be working on the shimmy and also arm undulations. So that will probably be a lot of shimmy drilling and a lot of arm drilling. So have your arms ready for that. And then on Wednesday, you can message me and be like, Cindy, my arms are burning. So it's okay. So that's next week. We're going to be working on that. But thank you for joining me today for week 2 of level 1. I appreciate you. Sorry for the little glitches that were happening. But it is, we did it. But, mwah.